set of speakers will focus on the work ahead of us. Together, we will create a better tomorrow, not just for ourselves, but a better tomorrow that will live on for generations to come. I'm honored to welcome State Senator Dr. Richard Pan. My apologies, Mary CREASMAN.
I am not Senator Richard Pan, but I am so excited to be here today. This is going to be an incredible year of opportunity for our values. And we know the role that California plays in a year like this. But I want to talk about California. I want to talk about the California Democratic Party, because we know California is such a huge incubator and catalyst for change nationally and globally. But that role that California plays nationally and globally, the California Democratic Party plays that role for California. This is the party that incubates and catalyzes the change that we so desperately need across the world. And this is a beautiful party that's messy and wrestles with what our identity is, what our values are, and who we're going to be in the future. This is a party whose endorsement is the most powerful tool to get elected across our state. This is a party who believes the role of government in crisis to protect us and move us forward and protect our most vulnerable. That's who this party is. And this is a party that knows that the status quo isn't good enough. The status quo has given us wildfires, pollution, extreme heat, drought. That's what the status quo has given us. This is a party that knows that we have to disrupt politics as usual collectively. That's our job. We know how to solve the climate crisis. That's the good news. We know how to make clean energy. We know how to transition our transportation. We know how to transition our buildings and decarbonize our buildings. We know how to make our communities and our landscapes more resilient. That's the hard part, but we have those policy solutions. We know how to do all of that. That's not our problem. Our problem is that we do not have the political will to do it at the rate and scale that science tells us we have to. But we can build that power. The California Democratic Party is excellent at building that power. This is a party that wrestles with those values, that direction, and how we hold our leaders accountable. And the truth is that work together to fight about who we are and who we're going to be in the future is the only thing that makes change. That deeply democratic process, a part of the Democratic Party, is the only thing that will catalyze the change we need to see. And the truth is, we know we can make that change. And as we look towards what it's going to take, we need to look towards our leaders. We need to measure our success as a party, not by how many Democrats we have in office, by what we and our leaders are doing to make sure we are passing policies and making investments that make people's lives better and protect our future. This isn't about numbers. This is about changing people's lives for the better and protecting our future. That needs to be our measure of success as a party and as a state. That's what we're working for. And I have a sneak peek for you. EnviroVoters is releasing our annual environmental scorecard in a couple of weeks. And we have a number of Democrats in the legislature who are scoring less on environmental votes than Republicans in our state. That's the truth. And I have to say, climate delayers at this point in time are more dangerous for us than climate deniers. I'm going to say that again. Climate delayers at this point in time are more dangerous for us than climate deniers. We cannot afford to wait. Because as California has an outsized burden to play, the Democratic Party has an outsized burden to play, not just to solve the climate crisis, but to define how we solve the climate crisis. Because be clear, we will get to a point when we are all rushing for higher grounds. Big changes will be made. We won't have to convince people to change. People are going to be rushing to save themselves. And who will be left behind? Black, Indigenous, people of color, young people, women, vulnerable communities will be left behind at that point. At that point, it will be too late. But California, right now, can define a future that advances justice, re-envisions our economy not to be based on pollution, extraction, and exploitation, but to be equitable and just for all. We can challenge convention. We can say, we change what we believe is possible. We believe more is possible for our future and our political system. And we challenge anybody who says that we can't solve the climate crisis, grow our economy, advance equity, and protect our workers at the same time. Because we can do all of that, and we have to do all of that. And the truth is, change never comes unless we get a little uncomfortable with each other, unless we have those tough conversations and we push one another, unless we grow up together in a way that holds ourselves accountable and our movement accountable to this work. We have to get a little uncomfortable in this work together. But when we do, big change happens and a future can change. That's the values of this movement. And we can define what acting on climate looks like for the nation and the world. Join us at www.envirovoters.org. Thank you.